Hi, I'm Cheryl Dorchinsky. Thank you all for joining us today. We will be discussing an incredible company doing some really interesting things, Sonovia. I want to thank our sponsors today for supporting us, and they're actually our promotional partners, and tell you that, AIC is a nonpartisan, non-denominational. We're an organization for all ages and stages. And our goal is to unite, support each other, and support Israel. So again, we're grateful that you've all joined us, and we're grateful for the Sonovia staff for being here. Again, thank you to our promotional partners, Atlanta American Jewish Committee, B'nai B'rith International, the Atlanta Lodge, St. Louis Friends of Israel, Temple Emmanuel, Hadassah Evolve, the New Order of David International, Hebrew Order of David International, the Kosher Barbecue Festival in Atlanta, two great publications, Israel Insight, Southern Jewish Life, and Genesis Foundation 123. So today we have with us the wonderful staff of Sonovia, and we have a guest from Jewish Moms of Atlanta. First, we'll talk to the staff. Liat Goldhammer, she's Chief Technology Officer. She's got master's in textile engineering, over 20 years of experience in the textile industry. She worked with limited brands with its flagship brand, including Victoria's Secret and Bath & Body Works. We have Dr. Maria Nadaka, Senior Researcher, PhD Chemistry from Bar-Ilan University. 3 postdoctoral research positions across Europe, and she has over 10 years of experience. We have Dr. Jason Migdal, Senior Investigator, Licensed Microbiologist, Veterinarian from the University of London. We also have with us Co-founder, Marketing Manager Shay Herchcovici, and Ben Hajja, Head of Business Relations and Marketing Team Partner. Thank you all for joining us today. So my first questions for Jason and Shay, how and when did Sonovia get started, and what was the product you originally provided?
So thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Shay from Sonovia team in our office space here in Ramat Gan, Israel. I'm very excited to have you guys here with me. As you can see here, it's a little balagan, like in every Israeli company. We are working really hard, really fast. So it's all, coming so fast, and basically all of our idea came from the basic of stopping the hospital-acquired infections. You know the problem when you go to hospital with a broken hand and you sit few days or few hours inside the hospitals, and you can get bacteria infections, and from this smallest hand break through the worst bacteria infection, we know thousands of cases. Even here in Israel, we have thousands of cases each year. So this is how the idea began at Professor Aaron Gedanken in Bar-Ilan University in Israel. He's the inventor. He invented the technology in Bar-Ilan University, and Sonovia is the, let's say, the, taking the lead, taking the torch. Professor Gedanken, he can invent stuff really good, but taking to commercialization, taking to make it a company, make it a business, and put our fabrics not only in masks, not only in bedding sheets, but all around the world. In the transportation, when you go to airplane, soon, Bezrat Hashem, you go to Israel, you need to go to a sterilized, non-bacteria, non-viruses healthcare, So without the mask is better, I see. So
I do love that mask, I have to say.
You invented it, Cheryl. It's your invention. You invented the logo, definitely. So not only in hospitals and not only in masks, when you go in transportation, when you go in buses, when you go even in the office space, even in hotels, we understand that all the world need to have this kind of coating, nanoparticle coating with antimicrobial, antiviral properties. So this is where it began. And Professor Gedanken, he used funding from the EU and funding from Bar-Ilan University to create an amazing patent, which we license out from the university and build this wonderful company. So Gedanken started to do a semi-industrial machines that could coat some fabrics and show a very good proof of concept. We took it as a company, and our first assignment was to build an industrial machine, make the idea bigger, make the idea industrialized with bigger capabilities. And this is our first assignments. And from the Bar-Ilan University, we'll move to office space and eventually move to this wonderful, very exciting lab that I can show you only some of it, sorry. But that was how we work. And we began from few pieces of fabrics to industrializing, and we have a roll of fabrics here, which we create the mask that we all very excited for. This is made in North Israel, stitching, cutting in North Israel, and delivered here to Ramat Gan. And from Ramat Gan, it will be delivered all around the world to you guys in the US, to our partner in the UK, to our partners in all around the world. Wherever there is a Jewish community, there is a demand for our mask, and this is where we at. And we work 24/7 in order to achievement. My people don't go to sleep. You can see behind me, young Israeli people working the company day and night, preparing your guys' shipments and flight from here to DHL, to Amazon, and to your houses in no more than 2 days, which is crazy, but we did achieve that. So that's where we at. That's where the idea began. And maybe Liat, you can continue a little bit about the company background.
So you mentioned shipping all over the world. How has the new agreements affected you? Have you shipped in areas that typically Israel couldn't do business in already, or?
So definitely, as the world shaped territories and you know, people want to be happier, people want to be healthier, people want to be more successful. So this is why, as a very, very amazing initiative yesterday happening in Washington, D.C., as we all watched and all the world watched, how the Middle East turned from places which be to a better place, I can say that, will become a better place. So now we have clients from the UAE, from Dubai, from Bahrain, and it was never happened before. A company in Israel could never delivered any product directly to the UAE. For now, because of the wonderful initiative between Israel, US, UAE, we do send our mask to the wonderful people of the UAE. We deliver there. We deliver most of the places in the world, even places you know, it's hard to ship. So we are there, and I am very blessed about this wonderful initiative.
I saw your mask with the flags. I was really—
Yes, correct.
So you were one of the first organizations to ship products over there, weren't you?
That's correct. We do have a very good relations with super nice people, pro-Israeli communities in the UAE that are working with the Jewish communities and are discussing with them. They could not do it. I don't know if I can say it or not, but I'm going to say it. They could not talk about it before, but now they can talk about it, and all their friends know that they are dealing with us, and they are very happy. They help us distribute the mask all over UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, and hopefully soon even Saudi Arabia, and hopefully more places and more places would just gather. And we see it as a bless. We understand it's a very good time for Israel. We understand it's a very good time for us to be on our political maps. And I can keep talking about it, but I will try to concentrate more about our technology and our wonderful mask.
That's why we're here. And we stay away from politics. Again, we're nonpartisan. We don't want to go there. So your mask, your website says that the Sonovia SonoMask is proven to neutralize COVID-19 for those of us who are not scientists, what exactly does that really mean? And I don't know who
Yeah.
wants to answer that.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Hello, Maria. Hi.
Maria.
So, yeah, to answer your question, also that was in a QA already. Yesterday, we received a new test report that states that our mask inhibits above 99% of the COVID-19 virus within 30 minutes. So that's really good news, which we received only yesterday. Now, how it works. So basically, the zinc particles that exist on the mask react with the humidity in the air, creating reactive oxygen species that attack the shell of the virus, and by that inhibits its multiplicity, okay? It cannot infect anymore. So that's basically the basic mechanism. It kills the shell of the virus.
Wow. So when I'm cleaning my mask, is there like
Yes.
unlimited uses? Because I know it's reusable. How does that work? If you have a special protection on a technology, what do I need to do to make it last?
You just need to wash it, preferably in 60 degrees, to kill anything that can be on that, remove all stains, and just dry it flat. It can be washed up to 75 times. There is no problem. Just wash it once a week, twice a week, depends on the usage and how dirty it gets.
So I love
It
mine.
should be fine.
Can I bleach it?
Yeah.
I could put bleach
No.
on?
So yeah, no bleaching, no bleaching, no softeners, just a normal detergent, washing machine, hand wash, preferably in high temperature, just to be sure, especially in our crazy times right now.
Right. Yeah, definitely. What are the differences between your mask and others?
I think Liat is supposed to answer that.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So basically, when the pandemic started in China, I'll talk a little bit about the history of that. We've been approached. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you. I can't see you. Oh, and by the way, we have questions already coming in. At the end of our discussion, I'll definitely be asking as many as we possibly can. And we'll go from there. But Beat, can you turn your camera on?
It says that you blocked it. So if you enable it,
I would personally never block your camera. Lee, could you help us out? We have Lee in the background doing some magic. Beautiful.
Now it does.
There you are. Thank you.
There I am. So basically, just a little bit of background. When the pandemic started in China, and a little later in Europe, in the US, and the rest of the world, all of a sudden citizens in ordinary daily activities were asked to use masks. The only thing is that there were no masks that actually were designed for that exact purpose. So the only masks available in the market at the time were masks that were used for protection of workers, for personal protective equipment, workers that are working with highly dangerous particles, dust. This is the N95 type of mask. And the other type of mask that was available in the market was the surgical mask, which is intended for use by medical staff, not only in the surgical room, but also in the daily activities in high-risk zones of medical activities. So when the general public had to wear masks, there was a big misunderstanding on what type of mask should they be using. And there we just decided, and we started to research the idea of what this type of mask should be like. It should be comfortable. It should allow breathability. It should provide a certain protection that the World Health Organization defined for the public usage, and not for a medical doctor attending his patients, and not for a worker at high risk, hazardous material or dusty, small nanoparticle material environment. And we followed the World Health Organization directions and designed a mask that can actually provide the protection from the droplets. As you all know, the virus is not airborne. You cannot get infected by just a virus carried in the air, which is a blessing. Otherwise, a lot more people would have been infected. Actually, the infection is happening through the droplets that we spit out during our, speaking or inhaling or sneezing or touching our nose or running eyes or nose. Anything that is liquid based can actually transmit the virus. And that was our focus. And that's the main advantage of our mask compared to other masks available in the market. It was specifically designed to approach and to protect the general public in their daily activities, going to the supermarket, attending work sessions at work in the office space, sending kids to school. You've probably seen my own kids modeling the mask and demonstrating, and now they are actually using it a full day at school. It's not something that you can easily do with a surgical mask or with a personal protective mask like an N95. You need to be really, get used to it, and maybe sometimes you will never get used to it. So this is really the solution that Sonovia was trying to provide the market. Really a mask that is geared, that is designed for this specific situation, our ordinary daily activities. And I think we managed to do that successfully.
So how come your mask isn't sealed? I've been asked that question before. How does it work if it's not sealed? Could the particles, if someone sneezes, jump into it? Like, I know you have a nose clip.
Yes, we do have a nose clip. Even if you look at N95 masks or personal protective masks like the surgical masks, they are not completely sealed around the face. It's not required. What is required is that the nose and mouth area are mostly covered. They are not supposed to be sealed. It's not that type of mask for a chemical attack that you are not supposed to inhale the surrounding air. It's supposed to provide protection when the droplets that you emit while you sneeze, while you talk, do not reach out the external side of the mask while you are doing these activities. At the same time, if someone is, I don't have a better word, spitting at you, or you become in contact with the droplets of another, which is not so common, they need to stand really close to you. This is why the social distance is also a requirement. You need to stay distant from other people, not to be so close to them. But assuming that one droplet is airborne and just land on your mask, then as soon as it's absorbed, we make sure that there is a layer that protects you from being contaminated, from being infected with that droplet. And the chance that this droplet goes through those 2 or 3 layers, depending on the mask style, and gets into your inhaling system is a very small probability. It's a very low chance that it's going to happen. So actually, you need to have those areas where the mask is not entirely sealed. You need to be exposed to fresh air. One other thing that our mask is providing, you will not be in danger of receiving respiratory infections. As long as the mask is sealed and blocks your air, nose and mouth areas, you create a lot of heat and humidity in this area. And bacteria is there is more tendency for bacteria, not only viruses. Bacteria are also dangerous at the time of such pandemic, and you are more likely to accumulate bacteria around your mouth, which will eventually penetrate your inhaling system. And this is why you need to have fresh air. You need to allow a breathability, certain breathability that once will give you a chance to act in your normal activities without losing oxygen. And on the other hand, prevents bacteria from accumulating in those very sensitive areas like your throat and lungs, and enter through your nose. Okay, so this is the reason the mask should not, and there is no requirement for it to be completely sealed. quite the contrary.
So am I wearing it right?
Yes, as long as you
I'm
keep your
protected.
nose clip
My nose
attached,
clip is clipped.
and it's covering on the top of your nose, and it's covering on the side and on the mouth.
Yeah.
You are completely protected according to what you should be protected in your daily activities. If you were telling me that you are a dentist or a doctor attending patients, then you need a totally different protection. This is not what we're trying to do. We are trying to provide you protection for your everyday activities.
And how am I able to breathe so well if you have all these layers? Like you could hear me clearly, right?
Yes, and it's also something that we took into consideration, and we very carefully selected the materials that compose the mask. It's not just, it looks like an ordinary fabric, but it's actually not so ordinary. It was carefully selected with a lot of trial and error, and developed with our supply chain very carefully according to the requirements to ensure that you can breathe, but at the same time, it's blocking, it's filtering bacteria and viruses. As Maria mentioned, it's not only blocking them physically, like the masks are intending to do, but also in our case, it disables them. It's neutralizing the viruses, and specifically the SARS-CoV-2, which not a lot of companies, I believe, can demonstrate such a proof specifically for SARS-CoV-2.
Perfect. So you mentioned, you know, inventory and I wanted to know, how is, there's going to be a lockdown on Friday, correct? And I don't know if this is a question for Shay and Jason or you, but how is that going to impact everyone basically working there and your operations? Are you going to be shutting down?
No, we're not. Even in the first wave and all through the second wave, we did not stop working for a minute. We had a special permission to work, and we do have that permission now as well. We are intending to work 100%. We actually, during that pandemic time, we're working more than 100%. We're more close to 200% because we're developing the technology, and at the same time, we are working on the product development and the mask and the product division. The mask is only the first product, so we are doing all of that in parallel, and that requires a lot of resources from our very small and dedicated team.
Y'all are amazing, working around the clock for us. Very grateful. Thank you. Speaking of your team, what size, and I think this is for maybe Shay, unless you started off there, what size did you start at as far as employees, and where are you right now? Shay, Jason, Ben, anyone? Liat, do you know?
Yeah, sure, I can answer that.
Thank you.
It's okay, I can answer it as well.
Thanks.
No, I see there was maybe a technical issue regarding. Can you hear me well without the mask? Sorry.
Yes, listen, you guys make amazing masks. I don't expect you to know all the technology of Zoom. I haven't figured it out yet, so.
Yeah. No, of course. We can elaborate a bit more if people would like to listen a bit more regarding what Liat and Maria have spoken about. Now, regarding the start of the company, small Israeli startup companies usually, the first people that really found it are family or friends or a few business partners in the numbers of 3 and 4, and it was the same here. It started as an idea in a university and the initiative of an entrepreneur, Joshua, our CEO, that really took it to the next level, as Shai explained a bit before. So at first it was just a few employees, family and friends that tried to build it together. And as we grew and we grew fast, especially because of COVID, because of the pandemic, there was demand for face masks. And eventually the idea, Shai talked about the technology to be implemented in the hospitals, in sheets and scrubs of doctors, all of that kind of fabric. And the product itself was supposed to be released only in 2021. But as the whole world deck of cards shuffled and everyone just had no idea what's going on, so we started to improvise, and we started to, took it the next step even sooner. So we developed the product department, which is the mask department. That's our first flag product. We, by the way, have gloves that are coming out as well, and we're always thinking about new products that we can do, because we see the necessity now. We see the demand for people to use it, and the goal was and still is to protect people from getting infections in all sorts of ways that, as you can see now in the news, it's everywhere. So yeah, we took it sooner. We put the product line much sooner, and from 5 to 6 people that started this whole company, we are over 35, I think now, with logistics working 24/7 all the time. Our sales and marketing team are getting, and customer service, of course, are getting amazing feedbacks regarding our mask and the comparison to other masks. As you can see, we also have a lot of effort educating people about what they don't know exactly about COVID, because to be honest, no one knows. Even the top scientists, all of them, you can hear people from here and scientists from here talking about it. And as we move forward into this pandemic and get to know more, we feel the responsibility as a company that produces masks and the health insurance for people to educate them as well, to let them know about the information, to challenge us as a company, to ask the tough question, and to see how we can provide them with the knowledge and the proper knowledge of use to keep themselves and their loved ones safe, with hopes that, yeah, we will pass through this as healthier as we can. And yeah, so from a few people to more than 35, that's an amazing progress, and we hope to grow further.
Are all of your employees from Israel? Are they Israeli?
No, absolutely not. We have a lot of people from all over the world. We do produce and manufacture all of our masks in Israel, of course, and the fabrics also Israeli made. But our team is composed of very talented young individuals from all over the world. We are working with people from Germany and France and Argentina and America, of course, as well, and all sorts of countries around the world. We are working with a lot of organizations like Masa, Nefesh B'Nefesh, Tamid, that are helping young Jewish professionals to come to Israel and make Aliyah. We are one of Masa's top companies that actually help with employment here. You know, as an immigrant, as someone that comes to a new country, it's very hard to, you know, get on your feet, especially in a time like this, that people are still making Aliyah from all over the world. So excluding, you know, the job aspect, we feel the urge, and we also know the people very personally here. It's a family business, sort of, so a lot of good relations. So we also help them with opening a bank account, how to go forth with the Ministry of Interior Affairs, you know, the ID, how to, you know, put internet in their house, you know, customer service in other Israeli companies, you know, you need to talk a bit more. So there's a lot of stuff that we do to help. Yeah.
It's great to put faces and people behind the actual product and technology. I don't know if you're aware of the impact that Sonovia had on the community here in Atlanta, but we have a special guest. Melissa is a member of Jewish Moms of Atlanta, and she's here. Basically, we're going to show some slides and some photos. Welcome, Melissa. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Do you want to tell us what this photo is?
Yeah. So we have spun up a grassroots effort here in Atlanta, and I'm so pleased to be the representative from Atlanta sharing this information with all of you. We were very fortunate to sync up with Sonovia pretty early in the pandemic, as soon as we shut down. And of course, you know, as Americans, we're so used to being on the go and not being restricted in terms of our ability to go to grocery stores, or, you know, to have our children go to school, or, you know, go to work on a daily basis. So to that end, I fortunately became involved through JMOA and started to bring these masks, knowing that the kids were going back to day schools, were going back to school in general, public schools, whatever the case may be, and have structured massive community buys. So this is my trunk. And I know it seems very strange, but this is in one of our grocery store parking lots. We have a fabulous grocery store here, chain here in the US called Trader Joe's. And this is me setting up shop. And, you know, Sonovia provides boxes. They prepackage all of the masks. So it was incumbent upon me and my family to mask up, glove up, and put them together so that we could mass distribute them. So as you can see, I have clipboards with highlighters and pens so that I can make sure that everybody received their masks, and everything's boxed up very hygienically. And then of course the hand sanitizer, which has become the staple in light of the pandemic. So that's what you got.
You look very organized, to say the least. These are just some of the individuals you've impacted in Atlanta wearing their masks.
Okay.
And
it's awesome.
Oh, go on.
Sorry.
Okay.
So, and you know, and really, you know, of course, all of this comes from a place of passion, right? So in that top left-hand corner, that picture was of my son in his school uniform wearing his mask very proudly. He supports Sonovia every single day. He supports himself every single day by making sure that he's well protected. And we're very excited. He is going back to school full-time next week after the holiday. So we are just overwhelmed with his ability to do so safely.
Have you met people through this? I know you're doing it out of
Oh my goodness.
your heart.
Yeah.
How's it been for you?
So, you know, I'm very entrenched in the Jewish community here in Atlanta. My children were day school children. Of course, we belong to a local synagogue that's quite large. We're part of the URJ movement. It's really, you know, very palatable to us in terms of our Jewish values in our home. However, meeting the community at scale, everybody wanted to, you know, reach out to the person that was bringing these masks. And I know that sounds kind of crazy because, you know, at the end of the day, it's Sonovia, it's not me. But, you know, I was a face. And I think that, you know, that has been a tremendous opportunity, as well as an enormous undertaking. You know, everybody wants to meet you. Everybody wants to understand. Everybody wants to understand the technology. They're asking me questions as opposed to Sonovia. So, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm representing the brand, I'm representing the opportunity, and I'm helping to protect our community at scale. So, you know, we're very lucky. Atlanta is, as my husband always says, is a big city, but small town. So we're all very connected. And I have seen now our growth beyond the Atlanta community. We're starting to move into other metro areas that are really excited about getting their hands on this technology as well, and hopefully protecting both their families and their communities. Well,
who knew that a Facebook page like a Jewish Moms of Atlanta or any group, I mean, this is an example. I guess this could happen anywhere, right? Would sync up with an Israeli company doing masks to help us through Corona. I mean, what are the chances of that? That's pretty neat. How many would you say you've ordered already?
It's opportunity. Yeah, so we are well over 1,000 now, which is awesome, and we just keep doing it. So, you know, as long as there's demand, as long as you know, people are as passionate about Sonovia as I think, you know, Cheryl, at least you and I are, we're out there. You know, I hope that it keeps scaling, and you know, I really hope that you know, anybody that sees this says, you know what, heck, I'd love to spin this up in my family's community. You know, there's a great community in New York that would love these, or Miami, or LA, or wherever. Middle of Ohio. It just doesn't matter. I think that it's incumbent upon all of us to be as nimble as we can in light of a pandemic, and really work toward this movement and moving this grassroots effort and bringing the Sonovia brand to everybody.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being here with us.
Pleasure.
And now I'm going to ask Shay or Liat or Dr. Jason. I want to just ask, what's Sonovia's plans for the future? I know Ben mentioned that gloves were coming down the pipe, but what other wonderful things are you planning?
We have, can you hear me?
I can hear someone. Who is that?
That's me, that's Liat.
Hi, Liat. So I could see Jason. I can hear you. Now I can't see either of you. And I can't hear you. Liat?
Now you can hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
You have to allow me to
Wait.
open the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we are very excited with the plans for the future. Yes, the next product that is already in production are the gloves. We've been approached by many customers online asking for Sonovia gloves. So we stepped up to the challenge. It is a challenge. Gloves are not an easy product to produce. And we are collaborating with our supply chain to really design the best possible glove that will provide protection to the hands. And again, from a sustainability perspective, which we didn't, I believe, touch enough on what we've said before, we stress that the mask is reusable, and so does the gloves. So instead of using those polypropylene or polyethylene gloves that you throw away and you create biological waste, basically, people don't realize they throw it in their normal garbage, but that's accumulating. As you are using disposable masks and disposable gloves, basically you burden the planet with a lot of biological waste, which is very hazardous waste. It's a hazard for the people that are supposed to dispose of that waste. It's not been addressed enough in the media and in general. I think people are more focused on the pandemic, but as soon as we become into the pandemic more than 6 months, people start to realize there is an environmental burden as well related to the use of disposable products. So in that sense, the mask combined with the reusable gloves that provide such a high protection, specifically against COVID-19, I think is going to give a full protection to areas where we feel we are more exposed, like the hands and our face. And in the future, very near future actually, we are already in pilots with automotive companies. Surprisingly or not, as this industry begins to work on the autonomous cars and the shared rides, even before the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were already in contact with major players from the automotive industry supplying the upholstery and all the textiles that goes into the interior of vehicles, of cars, of public transportation, aviation, boats, anything that is used by the public in the intention of turning those areas into sanitized, into more allowing, I would say, the users to feel safe when they enter a taxi or an Uber or a train seat that many people sat on before. So I think this is very important. It's a major drive for our business going forward, and this is the next focus for us. Other focuses are the hospitality business, anything to do with hotels, sitting in a restaurant, the table cloth, the waitress uniforms, the cook that makes the food in the sorry, let's make some light. The cook that processes your dish, everything around it. And if you look around you, you'd realize how much of the surrounding environment we live in is covered by textile. It's the #1 consumable. It's the #1 material we're covered in from top to bottom, and all our surrounding, our homes, our offices, our car, everything is covered with textiles. So this is a medium that we intend to really touch upon in different usages of textiles in our ordinary daily life experience. And this is the future of Sonovia, to be able to provide this protection more widely into any textile. And I want to share with you that, my background is heavily related to the fashion industry. At first, when we talked to fashion companies, they were saying, antimicrobial is not a very sexy term. We don't want to put a very nice blouse or dress or a sexy underwear with the tag that says that it's antimicrobial. Let's talk about it in sense that it's anti-odor, okay? It neutralizes odor. And that was more the talk. Now that we talk to these brands, and we're talking really to leading brands, American brands, European brands, the top brands that you can think of, from Gucci to Chanel, to Target, to PVH, which is Tommy Hilfiger, and Calvin Klein and others, and also their supply chain, they are not ashamed to say the word antimicrobial, antiviral, and in their vision, all their products should become antimicrobial and antiviral. So this is the revolution that is going on now, a lot because of the pandemic eruption. And we are seeing this as a future.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I couldn't imagine years ago wanting to buy something that said that on the tag, but now I would run to the store and get it. We're going to ask some of the questions, and we're going to answer some of the questions and the answers that our viewers have left us. I also want to thank those on Facebook who have joined us. This is our first time Facebook living it. And I guess anyone who feels they have the answers to these, please jump in and share them. So, what risk is there potentially inhaling zinc nanoparticles built into the mask? Anyone?
I can answer that if
Thank you.
I just don't want to take over the okay, so zinc oxide nanoparticles, which is actually the active ingredient in our solution, is defined by the FDA as grass material, generally regarded as safe. It is being widely used in baby rash diapers, ointments, sunscreens, even food additives, in cosmetic products, even at its nanoscale level. So it's a perfectly safe ingredient, and we don't see from all the regulatory consultation that Sonovia has been receiving, we are not seeing any risk health-wise. I would also mention that we sent the product to extensive testing at very reputable labs in Europe, that their specialty is product safety, to ensure that the mask is safe for users. And very soon we will even be able to publish those reports and share with our customers exactly which tests have been made and the grading of the product.
Thank you. Susan asks, you've changed the sizing. There are adults that have small faces and want ear loops. Will you be providing children's size with ear loops?
Yeah, so I can answer that. We have all sizes and all type of straps that goes over the head and goes with the ear loops. What we receive, we are very, we listen to our customers' feedback a lot, and that's the reason we decided that the cuts of the mask itself and the straps will be as they are now. It's work of on progress since we started with the product. So yes, we supply each sizes, and we hit almost 99% of people that order. We hardly receive any feedback of people that the mask is not fitted to them, and we can also replace the mask. There's no trouble regarding that.
Wonderful. So People are asking how they can buy your masks, where to go.
Yeah, I can also answer that.
And I know that you have a wonderful offer for those who are watching today. Can you tell us about both?
Yes, of course. So we also put on a code for all the participants here to use and have the 5% discounts, AIC5, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the banner itself. And we can go to our shop at sonoviatech.com/shop. And you can also visit the website. Everything is in the shop. You can read more about the mask. If you have any more questions, you can also put it here. Yes, and on Amazon, you can also look up Sonovia and you can also find it. And if anyone has any question regarding the mask after the webinar is over, of course, then we are very available on our Facebook page and our website, and you can reach us at any time. Our customer service working 24 hours a day. So we welcome all of you to read more about us, to ask us, and whatever you need.
I think we published the code AIC 2020. Do both work,
2020,
AIC
sorry.
5 or AIC 2020?
2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Okay, so by all means, go in. You can get any of the masks with a discount under AIC 2020. Marcia asks, have you approached Hadassah Hospital in Israel to carry your mask in their gift shop? And I'd love to say something about that because I know Barbara Sofer, the person who handles PR for Hadassah, actually just put out an article. Does anyone know where the publication was? I know I sent it to you. I think it was definitely an Israeli newspaper, and she spoke of your mask.
Yeah, Cheryl, it was on JPost. Just
Yes,
the
that was
printed version, online version on this Friday.
exactly.
We have a very, very nice client from the UAE, which is originally Palestinian, who now lives in the UAE, and he cannot give his name, but she referred him as Dr. Dubai. And it was a very, very nice article about the conversation she had with him, about the relations in Israel, about how they look forward to collaborate with Israel to get technologies to the UAE. And Barbara is really helping the companies, both in JPost, in Hadassah, in other articles and magazines that she member in. Definitely, we are grateful for that.
Wonderful. So Hadassah is aware of your wonderful product, and we'll see where that goes there. Gary asks that he mentions he has loved ones in Israel and they haven't heard of Sonovia. Since we love these masks and want to keep people safe, how can Israelis get the masks? Are they in shekels?
Yeah, so same in the shop. Just visit our website. We will post maybe in the presentation that Jason has slide with the website address. But you can also write Sonovia Tech Shop on Google, and it will direct you straight to us. There's a lot of websites that try to copy us. Make sure you're in the right website. Contact us on Facebook. Search Sonovia Ltd on Facebook, so 2 words, Sonovia space Ltd, and ask all the questions that you need to ask before ordering. And yeah, read more about us online.
Terrific. Dove asks, it appears you've changed the density of the weaving between the first one I bought in July and what I received in August. Is that true? I would think that your masks are always constantly updated. You're looking for better ways to do this. Is that the case?
So yeah, basically we are improving our products all the time. We totally are, rest assured all of our clients that all of the fabric that we use is receiving the same treatment of technology. So no difference regarding the product itself in effects of how antiviral or antibacterial it is. Regarding the density itself, one of the special advantages of our technology is that it can be implemented to any kind of fabric, no exceptions. So even if the fabric is a bit different due to a more improvement of the mask, the standards that we use regarding filtration and regarding the technology itself, it's all according to the World Health Organization. It's all according to our test results. So no reason to think that one older model or different model would be any less better regarding technology and filtration. So no worries about that.
Okay, great. Clarice asks, she mentions the spoke about environmental concerns associated with disposable masks. However, Sono masks also have limited lifespan and eventually will have to be disposed as well. Do you have a plan to address that, mitigate the environmental impact of post-consumer waste?
I think Liat could answer that best.
Yes. Basically, the mask is the lifetime of the mask is very long compared to disposable. So the first comparison is not comparable. So the mask can be used for a very long time, as Maria mentioned, and if it needs to be disposed of, it can be washed. Unlike the disposable masks where you wear them and throw them to the garbage, if you really want to care for the environment and do not throw away biological waste, then you should wash the mask first and then throw it away. And then it's disposing like any other poly cotton product. As we are an alumni of Fashion for Good, I don't know if you've noticed it, but Fashion for Good is the #1 accelerator and organization for sustainable textile and fashion. It's based in Amsterdam, and the members are notable and very well-known brands, mostly fashion, sports brands, and retailers from all over the world. And as part of our participants in Fashion for Good, we are being part of brainstorming and initiatives to really understand what's the end life of the product and how do you recycle it. So I can't say that we have all the answers, but for sure it's a basic, bottom line is that our product is a basic polyester cotton material that once the solution is found to reuse polyester and cotton materials, our mask can definitely be recycled in the same way. And there are very interesting companies and technologies that offer such solutions. And we are considering collaborating with at least one of them to test our product as well. So it's definitely in our mindset and in our pipeline for the future.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
And just to add to that, Liat, eventually, if you just put on a scale one mask in front of 365 disposable masks that you're supposed to use, you can see the difference. There's a lot of photos going on of masks because people who care about the environment see the pollution that regular masks, people just take it and throw it on the street. So eventually, if you pay for a mask that is reusable and you take care of it, just put in front of it 365 masks and see for yourself the impact that you do for the environment with that. So
Fantastic. So Dov asks us, I love that you're a sponsor for the Israeli Startup Nation Tour de France team. Has that driven your business in Europe or anywhere else?
yeah, I think Jason and Shay could answer it better. They led the connection with the team. So if you can just elaborate on that. You're on mute, Jason. Okay, great.
Through the Israeli Startup Nation, and they actually help startups within Israel grow. And we were very happy to be able to design the mask for the team because it has unique anti-odor properties, and its lightweight and breathability means that they would be given a competitive edge. And we think we played a role in helping Guy Niv and the rest of the Israel team do as well as they did in the tournament. And we were glad to collaborate and have this response within the sporting community. And we're very open now to see if we can help the technology support the uniform and attire of different sporting teams. We've already received images actually that popular football clubs, the referees are using our mask, and in wrestling we've got reports that they're doing the same. And so we are pleased that the mask can actually help people on a professional level, and as well as that in their day-to-day life. And with our innovation, we believe that we can create uniforms in the future which would provide such different sporting events with the properties that they need to be at the head of their game.
Fantastic. Susan asks, will there be a Canadian site through Amazon or other in the future?
So I can take this question. Just to repeat the question, she asked if it's available on Amazon Canada.
Right.
So we are available on Amazon Canada. We are available on Amazon US. We are available on Amazon Mexico, even Australia and Europe. As you know, we are Israeli companies, and with the lockdown and everything, we push forward in our marketing efforts and our stocks. We send as much as possible to the Amazon warehouses. So we have a nice amount of stock in Amazon Canada, in Amazon US, all over, and other Amazon warehouses. So it's available there. As my colleague mentioned before, we are working in Israel even when the lockdown is on. So we are safe because the client can still have the mask available on Amazon, but we are still working here. So it's both okay. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Kay asks us, what happens to the fabric and reliability after 55 washes? Can it still be used, and what's its effectiveness?
Okay. So right now we are declaring, I think as Maria mentioned, around 70 wash cycles. So after 55, it's still within that range. And when we define a product as being antibacterial or antiviral, we are looking at a range of, or a minimum activity of neutralizing or killing bacteria rate, which is still there. And that's our responsibility to the customers. After, let's say, after 70 cycles, we haven't tested fully, but we intend to reach 100, and we are in the process of getting there very soon. But let's say after more than 100 or more than 70 cycles, the product is still filtering bacteria. Maybe the effectiveness of the killing rate of the bacteria and the inhibition of viruses is lowering, but still the product can protect by filtering the virus and bacteria itself. So it's still protecting, but maybe not to the fullest level that we guarantee within those 65, 70 wash cycles.
Fantastic. So we're running out of time, unfortunately, and there's so many great questions. I would highly encourage everyone watching to either get in touch with this wonderful company direct, or send us a Facebook message on Atlanta Israel Coalition's Facebook page, and we'll try to get you the answers. Definitely wish we did have more time. Shay, as the co-founder of the organization, is there anything else that you'd like to share before I do some final mentions?
I'm just very, very excited about the entire event. I just want to say that even that we can fly to the US and hug you physically, we hug you, I don't know, mentally, internetly, from here. We are missing, we really want to come and visit you guys. And, you know, we are as an Aliyah company, which bless the Jewish who make Aliyah to Israel working in my company, the suppliers, the manufacturer, all of our chain from manufacturing to sales to client to distribution are all Jewish related. So I call it the Jewish power, the Jewish kesher. Kesher in Hebrew, it's connection, right? So the Jewish connection. So we send you a internetally hug from Israel, from Tel Aviv to Atlanta, and we welcome you to Israel once the COVID-19 period will be over soon. Please stay safe. Please wear the mask. Please let us know if you have any questions. We will be happy to help in whatever. We really blessed for this connection, and thank you so much for joining us. I want to say thank you for my wonderful team who putting the really big efforts in everything from point zero, from the start, first wave, Israel first lockdown. We work 24/7, still do. We care about our client. We do want to do everything in our power to support you guys. So please keep in touch. Let us know anything you need. We available 24/7 in the website, 24/7 on Facebook. There is no many Israeli companies who can claim that. We're putting a lot of efforts toward a good customer service. And thank you for supporting us. Sonovia cannot exist without you. Our solution cannot exist without you. You're our partners, you're our customers, you're everything for us. You're our family, more or less. We all came from Egypt or from somewhere around it. So thank you so much. And definitely let us know if anything we need.
Well, thank you for keeping us safe. Thank all of you. Really, I'm so grateful you were all able to make it today. And I want to thank all of our viewers. I know, and we have people from all over the world and people of all backgrounds, and we're grateful that you come together to join the Atlanta Israel Coalition. We want to thank our promotional partners again, Atlanta American Jewish Committee, B'nai B'rith International, St. Louis Friends of Israel, Temple Emmanuel, Hadassah Chai Evolve, Hebrew Order of David International, the Atlanta Kosher Barbecue Festival, Genesis 123, and again, two great publications, the Israel Insight, and Southern Jewish Life. Please follow our Facebook page and the Sonovia Facebook page. We're going to be doing a promotion where we give away a mask to a lucky participant. So make sure you come on and you take a look. We'll be having another event on October 18th with a wonderful human rights activist. He's Palestinian. His name is Bassam Eid. We're partnering with Weber, and we're also going to be doing a Israel advocacy series. So please follow us, sign up, and those who celebrate Rosh Hashanah, wishing you a good and sweet new year. And thank you again for tuning in so late and joining us in Israel. That was really fantastic of y'all.
Thank you for having us. Chag Sameach and Shana Tova to everyone, our Jewish and non-Jewish friends here in Atlanta. We were happy to be here, Cheryl. Thank you again for putting with us all of this organization. And again, use code AIC 2020, and please go on our website, look out Sonovia Tech on Google and on our Facebook page, Sonovia Ltd. And any question, any educational kind of information that you might need, we are more than happy to supply with you, even not regarding the mask, just in connection of how to use, so you will have also a great use and protect yourself and your loved ones. So thank you again, Cheryl. Thank you, everyone. Great team.
Thank you. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks, Melissa.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.